Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest video. I'm going to be working on this thing, which is in quite a bad condition. In fact, it's in terrible condition. This is an old piano bench, or stool here as it's known in the UK, and as you can see, it's in a bit of rough shape. Now, somebody was throwing this away and they put it on Marketplace, on Facebook Marketplace, and said if somebody wants to come and pick it up, then they can. If they didn't, it was going to the rubbish tip. So I went round there, picked this up for free. There's a lot of things wrong with this piece, but I'll go through that in a second. I also want to share with you that this video is sponsored by a brilliant company, and I'm really excited to work with these. It's a company called Ferreo, and I'll tell you a bit more about that later in the video. But for now, sit back, relax and enjoy, and thanks for watching. We'll get to that in a second. As you can see, this has seen better days. And look at the filling. It's actually, I think it's coir or straw. It may be straw, it may be coir, which is like the coconut husk. So that is a really old style of filling. It's not leather, it's like a vinyl covering. So we're going to need to do quite a bit with that. This door is completely come unglued and it's pretty much hanging off. That's the panel from the door, and it's got these, I think it's a transfer or painted on, I'm not too sure, I think it might be painted on. So that sits in there, so that's come off. This handle has snapped off the side, so we need to do something with that. More decorative elements on the side. That's broken there, and as you can see, that's loose. This is the back of the piece, and again, another decorative element on the back. That's completely loose. And it's warped, so we might have to try and do something with that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet, because I need to strip this piece, and it's likely going to strip this off. I'm not an artist, I couldn't hand paint that myself. It does look like it might be a transfer actually. So I have got a thought of what I might do with this, but you'll find out about that later in the video. The top actually lifts and is in a pretty terrible condition. The base has got a big split in it, so we need to do something with that. It's got these lovely shaped hinges, which I haven't actually seen before. So they've got like a beveled edge on them, and the shapes, they're really nice. Hopefully they'll polish up. That looks like the original, so hopefully that'll polish up as well. The finish on it is terrible. It's all dirty and worn, so hopefully we can sort that, well, we'll be able to sort that out. Inside is in pretty rough shape as well. The base is loose. The shelf is not the best. And the back isn't great. So all in all, we've got quite a lot of work to do on this, but hopefully we can make this beautiful again. So let's just crack on. First thing I'm going to do with this is take the things off that I can take off. I suspect I'm going to have to totally take this apart because a lot of the joints are gone as well. But let's start with taking off the hinges. There we go. Ooh, that's awkward to get to. Might need a different screwdriver. start taking this apart now. Some of these joints are terrible, but I can't just knock it out because I think these are attached to this and this might be attached to that. So I'm going to take this beading off, hopefully, and see if I can see what's behind. It's nailed in. Do you know what? It's not nailed in, it's screwed in. It is. This panel is screwed into the beading. So I'm guessing the beading's stuck to the side so it all holds it together. So I'll take these screws out. There we go. The back was the same. It had screws on it as well. So I'll put that out. I don't know whether you can see there. There's a bit of a warp in it, so I'm going to try and find trying to do something with that. This is the underside, and again it's in a terrible condition, and it's held on with glue blocks and screws, so they need to come out. That one looks like it's broken. Great. There we go. Woo! I've noticed this now as well. There's a crack in it there, so I'm going to have to repair that. Two little screws here. I think these have just been put in as a door stop. Wow. God, these are really bent. Yeah. Right, this is where we're up to at the moment. Took all the panels out, the top and the bottom and the seat. Before I take the frame apart and start re-gluing, cleaning and re-gluing, I'm going to try and take some of the finish off just because it's stood upright, so it might be easier to do that. What I want to mention as well is this is absolutely full of dings and scratches and marks all over, deep into the wood. This is never going to look new, and that's not the point of this restoration. The point of this restoration really is to make it look a lot better than it was. It'll still have its age, but I'm going to do my best to make this usable again. So let's get the finish off. I've just been scraping this section here and noticed, see all these little holes? That's woodworm. It's just on this one leg. So I've got some woodworm treatment in there which will kill anything that's in it, if there's anything in it, and then I can fill these holes. So just part of the character of it. Right, I've got most of the finish off this now. There's just some on these moulded areas, this beading, which I'm going to get off in a minute. But yeah, mucky job. I just need to start on the rest of it now. This finish is a bit more difficult to get off, so I'm going to try a little bit of acetone on it. If you put it on a paper towel, it doesn't evaporate as quickly, so it gives it more time to work. Just give that a second to work and then we'll see how we've gone on. Let's see if this has worked. I'm not too sure this has worked. It normally works, the acetone, but I don't think it is. Must be a different finish. Right, I'll try a little bit of paint stripper. I'll just drop some on before I commit to it. See if that does anything. Right, looks like paint stripper. Just need to leave it on a bit longer. While I was taking this other frame apart, I noticed it's loose but it wouldn't come apart, and then I noticed it's got this little catch. So that goes into the base to stop that door opening. I've gone over it with the scraper a bit, but I'll polish that up, be no problem. Okay, finally it's time to put these together. I've cleaned them all up now. So I'm going to use some hide glue. So I've just got it in some hot water. Okay. These are not particularly square anyway. I'm not too worried about them being completely square. That has got quite a lot of room to move around anyway. So this is the back panel, and as you can see, it's warped, it's cupped, so it's going like that. As you can see there, not great. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and soak it in some water to expand the fibres, and then try and clamp it and let it dry, and hopefully it'll dry straight. I guess when it does, this crack will be even worse, but we'll see where we are. But before we do that, this is going to go. Now, like I said to you before, I'm not an artist. I couldn't hand paint this. I just couldn't do it. It looked terrible. So, but I have got an idea. So I'm going to take some pictures of it, some photographs, and I'm going to use an app called Adobe Capture. So you take a picture of it. So that's taking a picture. So if I click remove background now, so that takes a picture of it. So I need to keep that because I'm going to use that to do something a bit later. That's a great little app, that. I also just want to take some normal pictures, normal photographs, just showing the size of it. Okay. I just need to get this down to the bare wood first before I soak it. This is the inside of the top bit that opens up. It's broken and it's cracked, and it's cracked there. It is one piece of, I think it is one piece of wood that's cut very thin, rather than ply or anything like that. So I am going to try and fix it. I'm going to really struggle gluing this joint together because it's broke on the diagonal. It's basically just split across a grain. So I think what I'm going to do is, I've got a piece of wood here that's the same thickness, so I'm going to put a new piece of wood in and straighten up those edges. All I've done is I've marked the holes where the nails are, and these are acting a little bit like a dowel just to give it that strength, up and down strength. And then I've just drilled them with a fine drill, then put some glue on, and then put that in. Okay. There's a few cracks on it as well, so before I clamp it all together, I'm just going to put a few bit of glue in these cracks. I noticed the base of the seat had a bit of crack in it as well, so I'm just going to put some glue in while everything else is drying. I'm not 100% sure this is going to work, but we'll give it a go. Better. Right, I'm going to try and flatten this a bit. This warped board. So I was going to soak it in water overnight, but I know you can steam these, and you generally have like a steaming bag. I haven't got one, so I've had a go at making one. So I've just cut the top off a bottle, plastic bottle, stuck an hole through the bag there, taped it up. I'm just going to put this in without ripping the bag, and then I'm going to tie the bag. I've got this wallpaper steamer for removing wallpaper. It's not got the end on it, so I've just put that in there and fill it with steam. Right, we're ready to go. There you go. And I'm not 100% sure how long to do this for, so I'll leave it about half an hour. Look at that. That's hot. I think that's at about half an hour now, so I'm going to turn that off. I'll just let a bit of that escape because I don't want to burn myself. That's already flat, look at that. Look how flat that is. The only drawback with this, and I've only just thought about it really, it has got some veneer on it, this, so it may well have done something to the veneer, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, yeah, it's wrinkled, that veneer, but to be honest, I don't want that veneer on, so I'm going to take that off. Look how flat that is now. but it has wrinkled that veneer, so I'm hoping when it dries that'll dry back flat. If it doesn't, then I've got a technique to get those wrinkles out, but I'm going to take this off because I don't want this on. This video is sponsored by Foreo. This is their new generation FAQ 202 LED face mask, which is a revolutionary skincare tool that you can use in the comfort of your own home. The FAQ 202 uses red light therapy to improve your skin, which works by using specific wavelengths of light, and it helps to repair and rejuvenate. The benefits to this technology are such things as re-strengthening different layers of your skin to boost its natural healing processes. It helps reduce wrinkles and fine lines, which I've got plenty of. Your skin feels smoother, softer and less dull. And it can also reduce redness of the skin, reduce any open pores and even out your skin tones. The 202 uses 8 different wavelengths of light, which means you can focus your treatment on the areas you most want to improve. These wavelengths can be controlled using the Foreo app or directly from the smart button on the mask itself. The app has also got preset treatments that you can access easily and conveniently, and the mask itself is fully chargeable. It's wireless. This gives you the freedom to use it when and where you want, even in your own workshop. It's extremely lightweight and flexible, so you can hardly even notice you're wearing it. Foreo rarely have discount on their products, but you can benefit from a massive 30% off the FAQ 202 mask and all other Foreo products, even if the particular product you're interested in already has a discount on it. All you need to do is use my special code David30 to get 30% off your purchase from Foreo. Oh, that's an heavy board. Right, let's see if it's worked. Oh! Oh no, this isn't good. I was hoping this wouldn't happen. Oh, David. This was a schoolboy error. There was remnants of glue on the other side, and I should have put a non-stick finish on the top of this because, oh, there you go, it's come unstuck. Phew, that's much straighter. You can see that there is some wrinkling on the veneer, so we need to sort that out, but it's not completely dry this yet. But no, I'm happy with that. Right, it's time to see if all these repairs have worked. This might be a plan B because these joints are not loose at all, but they are, so okay. I need to take this out because I need to repair it. I've got this as broken down as I can. Some of the joints I think are glued with like an epoxy or some sort of polyurethane glue, and I just can't get the joints out without breaking them. which I'm not going to do. In fact, one of them has actually broken, so I'm going to have to do something with that. This is one of the repairs that I need to do. On one of the sides had snapped off, and all it is, it's held on with 2 dowels, so I just need to replicate that on that. Daisy! Come on, let's go. She can't be bothered going in the workshop today. Okay. Let's go and have a cup of tea. Oh, very, very cheeky. Woo! I've never shown you this trick. Do you want some ice? This is what she wants. Look. Ready. Steady, go! This is another trick. She gets a piece of ice, bites it in half and leaves it on the floor. Left as a brush. These joints have snapped off, so what I'm going to do is, they're going to be a nightmare to get out, so I'm going to level them off, and then I'm going to drill and put a plug, like a dowel in there, and use a dowel instead. Just need to cut that off. Right, I'm going to give this all a little bit of a clean up now with some sanding and see how it looks after that. This repair's all glued up and strong again now, but there's a few little cracks, so I'm going to be staining this, just obviously for obvious reasons, but I think it'll just blend it a bit better. So I'm going to fill these cracks with a bit of this stainable wood filler. Right, that shouldn't take too long to dry. Right, that took me forever, getting in all these little nooks and crannies and stuff. So it's had a full sand now at 120 grit. I'm going to put the frame back together, glue it all back together, clamp it, and while that's drying I'm also going to give it a treatment for the woodworm, and then I can leave that overnight and go and have a well-deserved break. It might be small, but it's a lot of work. Right, I've managed to get it all dry fit. It still goes together, which is good. So I just need to glue this now. Right, final piece. I cut the camera because I didn't think you'd want to hear me swearing. Because they were attached, it was a bit of a pain to get everything glued up. I got most of it on myself. But nearly finished. Well, finished the glue up. My little pal next door, Mabel, shouting me because she can hear me in here. Last job of the day. Got this woodworm. Right, it's all nice and solid. This is a bit of glue run out in places, so I'll just clean that up. Some of these damaged areas, I think I'm just going to leave them. When I say damaged, it's not structural or anything like that, and it's an old piece of furniture this. It's full of dings and scratches and dints. So, like I say, it's never going to look brand new, but it should look really nice when it's done. You can see now all the woodworm damage. This is the worst part. There's a little bit on one of the other legs, but for some reason it's this that they've eaten away at. So I'm just going to use some stainable wood filler. Okay, it's a bit of a mess, but there was quite a few more holes than I thought. This back panel is the one I straightened earlier, and the veneer bubbled a bit. I've managed to get most of it down. There's a couple of bits that were flaked off, and I've just stuck those down with some glue. But the cracks have appeared where it's now straight. So I'm just filling these in with a bit of wood filler. These side panels and the back panel, obviously I've taken off the design. Now my plan was, I don't know what to do. My plan was I was going to use the design that I'd taken a picture of, replicate that, make it into a laser engraving file, and I was going to engrave it on my laser. However, the problem I've got is, after working on that other panel and the veneer being really thin, even with an engraving, I'm thinking it's gonna burn through the veneer, and if it does that, it may well start lifting the veneer in places. So I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have a think about it. Like I say, the plan was I was going to try and replicate the design, but I'm not too sure whether I'm going to be able to do that now, so I'll just carry on. Right, it's time to remove this. This is disgusting, so let's get a dust mask. I'm not going to upholster it yet, but I need to get to this base, so I just need to take all this off. I'll be honest, I've never seen anything upholstered like this before, and I'm not sure If you've watched my channel, you know my thing isn't upholstery, so I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this, but I'll do my best. Just because this is really old, I guess it doesn't mean it's extremely valuable, because the wood that's used isn't the highest quality. The way it's been manufactured isn't the best. You know, the way it's been assembled. So I'll just do my best to make it look really nice again. Because this was going to the tip, don't forget. Goodness me, these are hard to get out. There's a million tacks in this. Oh. There's tacks all the way around there. There's tacks in the centre and tacks at the top of that. So I'll come back in about an hour. Bit of horsehair in there. Yuck. Right, about 2,000 nails later and a lot of dust. That's what we're left with. So I just need to clean this up now.
Oh, very cheeky. Oh dear. What? Yeah. Come here. Come here. Daisy, come. Let's kiss. Yay!
I know you're bored, but just let me finish.
Yay!
Put him up. Oh, dear me. I've got these little holes at the end here that I need something to cover up. Now I could just make a plug, but I've got these little beach half ball thing, whatever you call them, I don't know what you call them. So I'm thinking of putting them on, but I just need to fix them on, so I'm going to have to make something. There we go, it's like a little mushroom. Just need to glue that in place and do one for the other side. Right, it's time to stain, finally. So I'm using this, and I'm going to do it in this one called Jacobean. So it's like a darkish oak. So I'll start at the bottom. This is the inside of the piece, so I'm going to use a bit of light oak, so it's not quite as dark, well, nowhere near as dark inside as it is outside. Just see how that dries and then I can have a look at that. Right, unfortunately I can't do what I wanted to do. I wanted to engrave the flower design. You saw me earlier capture the image. I've actually manipulated it on a software program to get an engraved file. But this veneer is, it's so thin, and I just think it's going to burn through the veneer, it's going to lift the veneer, it's going to flake off where it's burnt through. So I can't risk it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give this a bit of a contrasting stain, and I'm going to use a colour that I think will complement the material that I've got for the seat, which is pretty much the same as the original. So yeah, unfortunate. Maybe at a later stage I might do some sort of stencil or something like that, but for now I'm just going to do it a contrasting colour. This will just stop any of the hairs sort of and keep them in position, stop them poking through and keep them in position. I'm going to put the main fabric on now, which is like a vinyl, which is what the original had. Right, I'm not showing you all this. I'm going to go work round this. It's probably going to take me ages because this vinyl's not very easy to work with. But I'll do my best. Right, I've finally got to this point. I'm knackered. This vinyl's got a lot of stretch in it. In order to get it tight and firm, this horsehair, I needed to pull it quite tight, and when I was putting the staples in, the staples were ripping the vinyl, so I've had to sort of rethink it and put a little less pressure on the staples and put more staples in and put them on at an angle and stuff. So like I say, I'm not an upholsterer, so all the upholsterers out there, please tell me what I'm doing wrong. Right, finally finished it. So that'll do. I just need to put the edging on now. This hardware is brass, but it's obviously got some sort of lacquer on it. So I've tried using acetone, but it's not coming off. So I'm just going to use a bit of this paint stripper. Right, it's time to start assembling this. I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everybody that watches my videos and supports the channel. I really appreciate your time, all your comments, and for those that buy me a coffee and leave me super thanks, I really appreciate your support. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and for more content like this, just hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free and it'll make sure you won't miss out on future videos. I hope you've enjoyed it. And as always, thanks for watching.